Hey guys, happy Thursday. Thanks for joining me for Tommy's travel forecast. I'm meteorologist Tommy House. We have a lot to talk about across the lower 48. So let's start with clouds and radar. We're dealing with a few big changes here. It's been this same pattern for weeks on end. Dipping the jet stream across the northeast, bringing some cold Arctic air as of this hour. We're getting some pretty decent lake effect snow way up in parts of the New England area, the northeast. Some snow for Pennsylvania, New York, Buffalo, some showers, some rain and snow showers across the plains and parts of the Midwest. Here in Texas, it's just been this calm, quiet, warmer than normal. We did have some rain on Tuesday, just a few hundredths of an inch. And then way up toward the West Coast, the Rockies and the Four Corners, that's where things will begin to take a dive. So we started with this map, and it's been that cold air again. That's been up in the northeast, and then some ridging here in the central southern plains. But a lot of action is going to start way up toward the west coast now. That's been an unusual trend this winter. So several big low pressures, dips in the jet stream, and maybe some cooler than normal temperatures for California and the Four Corners. So here's the next few days. So let's walk you through Friday, Saturday, into Sunday. A lot of different colors here on the map. Dip, which is going to be some showers and storms. Jet stream takes a dive across the central plains. Still seeing some cooler temperatures in the northeast. But now at this point, all of a sudden by next Tuesday, so middle half of next week, notice that huge dive bringing in some colder temperatures further south. With that, some storms, so a few low pressures could track and work through the Rockies, amplify, and bring some much needed snow with these huge snow droughts for those ski lovers in the Rockies, and still some high pressure ridging. We'll show you at the very end the central Texas forecast. It's not looking too great in terms of some cooler air. So winter taking a pause, could be permanent here in the Austin area. A little too far out to tell, but we're about halfway through the month and things are still looking warm. So here's clouds and radar in the near future. As of today, still, again, the biggest talking points is some of the lake effect snow that's way up in the northeast. Got some pockets of some light disturbances and energy moving from west to east. That's that zonal flow. And then keep an eye way out off the coast here at Baja, California. That low pressure will track, amplify, and bring some potential severe weather here in Austin and for many states. So here's Thursday into Friday. That low pressure moves across the Four Corners, and all of a sudden, textbook, we got a lot of energy from the Gulf. We got some colder air crashing in from the north. So all the way from Texas through Mississippi, the Mississippi River Valley, in the southeast, we need to be watching this very closely. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, could that bring some strong storms? And then we got another low pressure system that's going to be moving on shore to the Four Corners, and then cold and quiet. Not a lot of action way up toward the northeast. So this is Saturday, Sunday, Monday into Tuesday. All of a sudden, we're dealing with a line of some action moving across Mississippi here, New Orleans and Jackson, and then taking it way up towards San Francisco. Imagine the Super Bowl was this upcoming Sunday. We'd be talking about a chance for some thunderstorms moving into Santa Clara, but it was last weekend. So let's focus in on this setup that's going to be Saturday. This is going to be the big weather maker, as there is the possibility with a slow-moving Pacific front that's going to bring in some drier air. These fronts don't bring crashing cold temperatures, but in the warm sector, a lot of moisture. We're going to have some storm energy, and in this warm front sector, all of a sudden, we have some severe weather to discuss. One of our first potent severe weather potential systems in quite some time. So this is Saturday evening. We're here based in Austin, Texas, and here's a little bit of some strong storms. This will change, but this one high-resolution computer model output is showing some moderate to heavy rain that will be moving through. So Storm Prediction Center also agrees with what I'm looking at. They have a level 1 out of 5 threat. That includes pretty much all 15 counties here at KXAN. Big picture, though, so this is just Saturday. These Storm Prediction Center outlooks only go out 3 days. So today, Thursday, day 1. Friday, Friday night, day 2, Saturday, Saturday night, day 3. So I would expect by Sunday that expands across much of the deep south. And don't be surprised if we get a bit of a level 2. This could upgrade, especially, I would say, East Texas, a little bit of Louisiana. I'd say Shreveport. Austin's probably still in the level 1. But there's the front that would move in. There's the warm sector. There's the energy. And then there's the low. So you can kind of trace the synoptic outlook of how it's going to play out. So a bit closer to home here, let's talk about this upcoming potential Saturday. We're going to have beneficial rain. So for Saturday morning, this is 9 o'clock. Notice it's just some light shower activity. This isn't the severe weather potential. Still some light showers. You know, you get a little bit of some rain here and there. This does flow in, and through the day, we'll see some cloud cover and some light rain persisting. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. All of a sudden, though, we move toward the afternoon and evening hours. See this clear sky here, not a lot of clouds, no rain. That's going to increase and bump our thunderstorm fuel. So by the time that the front arrives around late afternoon, evening, that Pacific front slides in, you got that drier air working in, still plenty of moisture, and then that increase of thunderstorm fuel. All of a sudden, a line of some storms could develop and travel. This is most likely east of Austin. Again, when we compare the Storm Prediction Center outlook with where the position of those storms are, front lines up. This one's a little bit further west, but I expect that level 1 out of 5 to fine-tune a little more east compared to the line of storms that we just saw move in, which will set up during those mid to late afternoon hours into the evening. That would be Austin, I-35 further east would be my best bet. So here are the numbers from this morning. We will fine-tune and adjust. I think 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch less west of where that final round does line up. In matter of fact, I think the recent trends, you could add a pocket here of 3/4 of an inch to an inch across Milam, Lee, Fayette, a little bit of Bastrop and Caldwell, but we'll bump those numbers if needed again for Friday night into Saturday. So let's talk temperatures here, because this Pacific front moves in. Will it create any sort of cold air? I mean, not really. No, our normal high is somewhere in the mid-60s, 66 degrees, matter of fact. We'll be about 10 to 15 degrees above that for Thursday, for Friday. By Saturday and Sunday, 70s. So for Valentine's Day, kind of an indoor weather day. By Sunday, if you have any sort of reservations, I would move them to Sunday. It looks a lot better. And if they are Saturday, more hill country focused toward the vineyards would be my safe bet. Also, your Austin rain chance next 7 days, again from the First Warning Weather Center, around 80%, scattered toward the afternoon hours. And then by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're hoping that we can squeeze out as much rain as possible Friday to Saturday, because things are looking relatively dry. All right, so let's close with the spring-like temperature pattern ahead. So blue is cooler than normal. Red is warmer than normal. So we've had this high pressure, this ridge right overhead, keeping the southern plains nice and toasty. Northeast has been cool with some dips in the jet stream and some Arctic air. And we've been in this same setup for now weeks on end. Plains are warming up, thawing out a little bit more than they typically are, though. But as I walk you through the next few days, all of a sudden by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, now the Northeast finally dealing with a bit of a thaw. Still relatively seasonable temperatures there, but still a bit of a warmer than normal pattern persisting across much of the northern plains. And there's the dip. So way out toward California, Sierra Nevadas, Pacific Northwest, they're dealing with the potential for some cooler than normal temperatures, which will help the ski lovers get a little bit of some action there, and maybe a few rounds of some showers and storms. And with this kind of setup, this opens the door for some severe weather here in the southern plains, because, like I said, you got the warmth, the moisture coming in out of the Gulf. You got the cooler air crashing in from the west, and these low pressures, they'll amplify over the Rockies, and they'll cut across the plains, Oklahoma, Red River Valley, and central Texas here. We'll get the Pacific front edge of this and perhaps squeeze out a few more rounds of rain to close out the month. It's looking dry for now, so all eyes on this weekend, and even then we have just a level 1 out of 5. It's more for the rain that we're watching. We'll have the full updates on KXAN.com/weather. My Tommy's travel forecast will be written up, snipped with a few of these graphics, and then we'll continue to keep an eye on that storm threat. Great reminder to download our First Warning Weather app. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and enjoy some of this warmer weather.